Too often, we tend to keep our eyes on the goal that we fail to understand that to get there, we have to go along the path that leads to it. True indeed, there is the oft repeated quote that goes, "It's not so much the destination that is important, but the journey," which sounds very nice on paper. But what does it truly mean to embrace the process? That is what we are going to take a look in today's video. Hey guys, thank you for stopping by and welcome to another episode of Making Sense of Life with me, Mario. Whether it is building wealth, learning a new skill, or even becoming holy, it's a process. No one achieved anything big in life overnight, and even if that were to happen, the truly great know that it is always an ongoing process. It's like, since I've been playing guitar for so long and to a decent level that too, there are some people who have come up to me and asked as to how long does it take to become proficient in learning the guitar. I find such a question a bit amusing, to be honest, since for me, I believe that if you truly love music, there is always something new to learn, something new to discover. I feel like it's as though whenever I pick up the guitar, I'm meeting an old friend and having a conversation with it whenever I'm writing a song or composing a piece of music. If in case you would like to follow my musical journey, you can follow my Instagram post. Link is in the description below. The same can be said of other things as well, be it in fitness, wealth, and so on. It's not so much about getting to the top, but about maintaining it, and that involves embracing the process. In fact, we may just say that it is a lot easier to reach the top than it is to maintain or sustain it for years to come. When I think about some of the best athletes, whether that is Messi, Ronaldo, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or even people and celebrities from the creative space, whether that's Hollywood actors such as Al Pacino, Tom Cruise, maybe Bollywood stars like Shah Rukh Khan and so on, they were not only able to achieve what they were achieved, but they were able to sustain it over a huge period of time. And I think the secret to that, in my opinion, is to keep in mind that there is always something more to achieve, even when it seems like one has already reached the pinnacle. And that is what helps keep a person grounded and humble. Ryan Holiday, in his book Ego is the Enemy, writes the following: "Here we are at the top of a mountain we worked hard to climb, or at least the summit is in sight. Now we face new temptations and problems. We breathe thinner air in an unforgiving environment. While success is so ephemeral, ego shortens it. Whether a collapse is dramatic or a slow erosion, it's always possible and often unnecessary. We stop learning, we stop listening, and we lose our grasp on what matters. We become victims of ourselves and the competition. Sobriety, open-mindedness, organization, and purpose, these are the great stabilizers. They balance out the ego and pride that comes with achievement and recognition." He gives the example of the mixed martial artist Frank Shamrock, who had a training system by which he trains his students, which goes under the following slogan: plus, minus, and equal. According to this system, he said to become great, each fighter needs to have someone better that they can learn from, which is like plus, minus, where it stands for someone lesser than themselves, where they can teach, because as it's often said that the best way to remember something is to teach it to someone. And lastly, equal, which stands for someone who's equal that they can challenge themselves against, to test themselves from time to time to see where they stand. In the spiritual life, inasmuch as we venerate the saints and can sometimes be in awe in regard to the level of sanctity that they have achieved, they became who they were because they knew their need for God. The irony is that the more one goes along the path of virtue and grows in holiness, the more one realizes how much more they need to work on themselves and need the grace of God. It is like if you are wearing a stained shirt in the dark, you are unable to see the stains, but as you slowly begin to approach the light, you begin to see the stains on the shirt, and then you realize how much of washing or cleaning the shirt requires. Likewise, when we approach towards the light of Christ from the darkness of sin, we come to see how many things we need to work on ourselves. Although, one thing I need to make clear is that holiness or becoming holy is not so much about our effort, but rather it is a gift. However, it is equally important of how much are we willing to cooperate with that gift that God has given to each of us. God will never force us because He respects our freedom. And in order to truly love someone, free will is a prime factor. Having said that, I guess the important thing is to come to God in humility with all our brokenness and messiness and allow Him to work His wonders in our lives, which brings me to an important question. If God knows what we need before we ask, then why do we need to ask or pray to Him? The short answer is trust. Through prayer, we express our trust in God. It is not so much about us trying to twist God's arm or bend God's will to suit our needs through prayer, but rather it is through prayer that helps us change and makes us more docile to accept His will. It's true that He gives us even if we don't ask. It's true that He bestows His blessings on us anyway all the time, whether we recognize Him as a bestower or not. Asking God puts us in right relationship with Him and helps cultivate a basic stance of gratitude, knowing that He is in control over everything even though we may not fully comprehend His will for our lives, as Saint Therese of Lisieux would put it. For me, prayer is a surge of the heart. It is a simple look turned towards heaven. It is a cry of recognition and of love, embracing both trial and joy. And that is a journey. I sometimes think of the rich young man in the Gospels who went up to Jesus asking Him about what was it that he must do to gain eternal life, only to be left sad when he was told what he probably did not want to hear, like as though there was a secret formula or a magic potion if followed would ensure the confirmation of one's entry into the kingdom of heaven. Perhaps we could be like that young man in the Gospel. God is inviting you and me on a journey to pick up our crosses and follow Him, to embrace the process with all the highs and lows that come along with it. Saint John of the Cross in his book, The Dark Night of the Soul, explains to us about what happens when our motives for doing or being good can be warped. That is, when it springs forth from a place of pride and not from humility, as is seen in the following words. There are those who are vexed with themselves when they observe their own imperfections and display an impatience that is not humility. So impatient are they about this that they would fain be saints in a day. Such people seek to accomplish a great deal and make great resolutions. Yet, as they are not humble and have no misgivings about themselves, the more resolutions they make, the greater is their fall and the greater their annoyance, since they have not the patience to wait for that which God will give them when it pleases Him. This is contrary to the spiritual meekness which cannot be wholly remedied but the purgation of the dark night. And so, with that being said, here is a takeaway that I hope you are able to draw from this video. And that is, as a famous Latin quote goes, Age quod ages, which means do what you are doing. Today your efforts may seem insignificant and maybe even meaningless, but never underestimate the power of small efforts done consistently, whether that is building wealth, fitness, or anything that you want to achieve, but more especially in the realm of holiness. If I could use an analogy, it's like our efforts can all seem like zeros, and zero as a number when it is by itself has no value. But just when we think that all our efforts are but a waste of time, like just a bunch of zeros having no value, and then all of a sudden God puts a 1 before all those zeros, the value of those zeros change. It takes on a whole new meaning, bearing immense intrinsic value. So embrace the process, embrace the journey. We are all in this together. Keep doing what you are doing, and when it's the right time, God will bless our efforts, where all our past efforts take on a new meaning, and we can then pat ourselves on the back because we did not give up. At the same time, I must also warn by saying that we should not shy away from the fact that it is alright to seek help and guidance when it is required, as we should not fall into the trap of moving without any perspective, because in as much as effort is important, we should take care that we are investing the right kind of effort in the right place to have some direction so as not to go off track. I do hope you have found some value in this video in as much as it has been a learning experience for me. And if you have, I would greatly appreciate if you can hit that like button. And do consider subscribing if in case you haven't and would like to explore the different aspects of life as I try to understand and unravel its meaning from a Catholic perspective. Until then, take care and I will see you in the next video. God bless.